One love, Delta 9 travelers. One love. Welcome into the international digital connection. Welcome in, Delta 9 travelers. Who is in the live with me right now? If you can hear me and you can hear me clearly, what's going on? Welcome into the live. Welcome into the live. Welcome in, Delta 9 travelers. Thanks for being a part of this international digital connection. We are here for this big game we're going on right now. Brazil, or are you going with the history, ancestry, and Morocco? I'm telling you, it's a hard decision for me. But from long as a Brazil fan, drop it in the comment section. Big up to all of those who are live with us right here on Delta 9 Media. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. As you come in, ladies and gentlemen, drop a 9 in the comment section if you can hear me and you can hear me clearly. Plus, where are you tuned in from? I'm coming to you live from the sunny Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We got so many headlines to get into. Listen, we got some headlines going. Look, who remember the situation that went down recent, right? We can't forget it because guess what? There's only a couple of them that they get locked up originally, end up getting freed, and they still got most of them locked up right now. We're talking about the gas station situation that went down, right? And then they had other situations before the other problems before that. We in linking and looking at like if it all is coming together. But if we think about the vicinity where this thing is happening, right? And we look at the persons involved, we could start to realize that when we hear in a conversation about 23 more, 23 more plus the 10, listen, that's one of the headlines that we're going to be getting into on this live.
Right? I hope you all realize that this has serious national security implications. 10 AK-47 assault rifles are now 23. Is not nobody going for shoot white laggers, as Bruce Ben would say. Is not nobody going for rob some store. This is a serious national security, should be of serious national security concern. And this is not for you to then look for the usual suspects. Because when the 10 were found on the quarantine, they were insinuating, based on the identity of one of the suspects, they were making certain insinuations as well.
Yeah. So that's just one of the headlines. But guess what? We got some more headlines that we definitely got to update one another with. Because as we analyzing all of that that's going on in the country, there's other things as well that is definitely trending. We're going to get some updates coming straight from the going home ceremony for Adriel. Remember the young man that was unalived in his home recently, right? We're going to get some updates. There are certain leaders that are out and about standing in solidarity with the family and a number of other things. Rising power to him and condolences to his family. Those are just some of the headlines, right? We are also going to be getting into these headlines as well because Honorable Mr. Mohammed was out and about highlighting this.
They're clearing an acre for 2.8 million Guyana dollars. 5 by 2.8, that's 14 million Guyana dollars. They cleared this land. What is going on? Any farming is happening here? Where is the owner of this land?
The owner of this land is overseas. You live in Guyana.
You heard Jagdio? This is Mr. George living in here for the past 40 years plus. So my people, my fellow brothers and sisters, I want you to understand, Zulfikar Mustafa and his family, they're getting the contracts to clear these land.
Well, guess what? Persons came back with an answer, and we got that as well to update one another with because these are just some of the headlines.
Oh, Mama said this man dead, right? The opposition leaders.
Not going to get immediately after again. We will go down the list of those who did not get, who were pre-qualified. So if you come to me today and say, I didn't get in the first instance, but I'm on the pre-qualified list, then you have to wait your turn. This is for contracts below $15 million because
we're going to be hearing from the VP himself, giving us some updates about what's going on with the contracts and other things, you know, everything connected to what's going on in leadership. We're going to be hearing directly from the VP as he's been busy out and about doing a number of things, right? And as we're talking about finances and the former finance minister himself, the Honorable Mr. Jagdio, right? We are going to be hearing from the president some more insights about the development bank, plus members of the opposition as well.
Proposed bill. If you go to section, I believe it's 32 of the proposed bill, you would recognize, and I quote from the proposed bill, the bank shall not be subject to the Financial Institutions Act and shall be governed by this present act and any orders and regulation made by this act. There are a number of regulatory framework and legislations, and one of those is the Chapter 8503, and that is the Guyana Financial Institution Act that they're saying you will not be covered by.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing from members of the opposition as they analyze what's going on with this Guyana Development Bank, because we're hearing that there might be a lot of implications related to what's going on. But guess what? A lot of persons are saying if there is an opportunity for capital and for persons to be able to access and do things, then bring it on. But it's good to hear as many sides as to what is really taking place. So we're going to hear from Mr. Best, and we're going to hear from the president as well.
To have this winning strategy, we have to have
sometimes it's all about the mindset. It's all about the focus that you hold, right? Because we not forget, all is mind and the universe is mental. Everything begins up here. So the president is highlighting this, and we're going to get into some more of the things that he would have expounded on as it relates to the Guyana Development Bank right here in this live. So as you come in, just giving you a quick synopsis of some of the headlines we're going to be touching on. Hit that thumbs up button. Remember, you can become a channel member as well, wherever the barcode is, right? The barcode is right somewhere to my side. You can become a channel member right here.
To have this winning strategy, we have to have a positive mindset. No batsman going out in a 2020 game can be successful if they go out with a negative mindset, worrying about the conditions of play, worrying about if they have to face the fastest bowler, worrying about failure. You have to create a positive mindset. And this is something I want every Guyanese to have as we embark on this journey together. The first phase of the development bank would create opportunities for thousands of Guyanese.
Exactly. And if you want to hear some more about that positive mindset and certain insights that the leader of the nation will be getting into, make sure you stick around, because we will be getting into those headlines as well. Plus, there's this protest over whether or not it is time to go into the street and protest. The former leader of the opposition is highlighting this, but there's other persons as well that might have other views. We're going to be getting into that. Make sure that you call in and give your perspective. The poll is up on the channel right now. I'm going to ask moderation whenever you have a chance to just present it so persons can have an idea of what the poll is, so that even when they're watching the video in the rewind in the future, they can drop their view as well, even though it might not be a vote because they were not live here with us on Delta 9 Media. We're live right here. It's a Delta Saturdays. If you haven't already and you're in the live, almost 200 persons live with us, and it's only been almost 10 to 11 minutes. And guess what? Thank you for being here. Let's jump straight into some of these headlines. Let me shout out all the persons in the chat right now. Matter of fact, we're going to jump into some headlines, and then we're going to shout out persons that are in the chat. Big up to everyone that's in the chat right now. Thanks for being a part of the live. Honorable Mr. Muhammad was out and about. And you know, these were some of the things that he was highlighting. But before we jump into some of the things that Honorable Mr. Muhammad was highlighting, let's hear how international persons from around the world, are speaking about what's going on in our country. Because it's a good thing to hear good things about a great place. And as we
we're still in Bugabys, and was on the way to view where the new airport is going to be built. Along the way, we came across this new development that is just starting to be built. I don't know specifically the numbers of housing that is here, but I'm assuming it's about close to 100 houses that's going to be built leading into the airport. I also feel like seeing how it's being built, it's going to be privately gated as well. So this is going to be its own small community. And so what that means, every household is going to be potentially to an American standard. And again, that's why you have to stay on the ground. You have to have ground source information. You know what's happening. As you see, no one is living here at the moment. No one. So we are the first to kind of report this. And like I said, Berbice, you're thinking about investing into Guyana. Berbice is the location. New Amsterdam is going to be the place. So right now, we're still in Berbice, and was on the way to view where the new airport is going to be built. Along the way, we came across this new development that is just starting to be built. I don't know specifically the numbers of housing that is here, but I'm assuming.
So, international persons moving around, highlighting certain improvements, certain opportunities for persons to make money, which is always a great thing because let not forget, there's a lot of opportunities in Guyana. There's a lot of opportunities for persons to do a lot of great things. But it's all about the situations that some persons might be facing because of different levels of corruption as well. Let's hear from Honorable Leader of the Opposition right now.
The PPP government. Omar Malik, a foreign national, robbed Guyanese of over $100 million through the Ministry of Housing's Young Professional Homes, with support from Anil Nandalal Law Office, and then left the jurisdiction. Omar Malik, an Indian national who resides in Canada, came to Guyana and formed Dreamview Homes to rob Guyanese. What is surprising is that Malik made his connection through a relative of Irfan Ali to secure the land and the contract to build the homes. He has now left Guyana amid the controversy, with the CHPA issuing a public notice seeking his immediate attention over outstanding financial matters, being fully aware that the man already left the country. The young professionals have been robbed. How could a project facilitated through a government housing initiative become a nightmare for Guyanese? How is it Nandalal, who claims to be a learned attorney general, could let a foreign fraudster come to Guyana and demand upfront payment for houses before laying a single block? How can foreign nationals come to this country and secure lands when Guyanese are in the system for years without ever acquiring a plot of land? Why does the PPP allow foreigners to come in and rob our own? These men are so blinded by corruption, they can't do their jobs properly, can't identify a scammer. Housing should complete these houses or fully compensate those persons for their losses. The Young Professional Housing Scheme at Great Diamond, East Bank Demerara, has left dozens of aspiring homeowners facing financial hardship and uncertainty. 25 families signed on to purchase Dreamview homes, model Maharaja units, 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom homes, priced at 16.5 million each. The contracts were signed in August 2022. The young professionals then secured financing, include mortgages through the NBS Bank, and paid down payments of around $6 million on the premise that their homes would be completed within 6 months of signing. Instead, many of these families say they have been left with unfinished promises and mounting financial obligations. Only 4 of the houses were completed. The 4 that are completed, the persons, the young professionals, had to spend money from their pockets to complete the homes, while 21 buyers remain without the homes they already began paying for. Despite these circumstances, all of the buyers.
When people hear these kind of things, it make you feel skeptical. You know what I'm saying? In GTV said these type of things make you feel schizophrenic. It's just saying to yourself, I don't know if I want to end up in this kettle of fish. I don't know if I want to end up in this basket because it look like problems. Right? People just be worried about investing. And as we can see, there's many opportunities. But as we're hearing from the leader of the opposition himself, you gotta be aware because things like this is going down as well. Remember, the hotline number is on the screen and you can drop your comments into the comment section. Let your vote be heard right now. What do you think about the first poll that we would have put up right there into the live presentation?
Continue to make monthly mortgage payments of around 100,000 for properties they cannot live in. This is unfair to Guyanese. People took out mortgages, invested their savings, and borrowed funds to secure these homes. The development was undertaken under the Young Professional Housing Scheme, with lands allocated through the Ministry of Housing and the CHPA for private development. Buyers were also required to execute contracts through the developers' legal representatives, Mohabir Nandalal and Associates, and pay $30,000 for the contract. There must be a full and transparent investigation into the Dreamview Homes project, the circumstances surrounding the allocation of lands, and the execution of the contracts. The dream of home ownership should never become a financial nightmare for hard-working Guyanese families. The only thing this fraudster left is a 40-foot container. That is all he left for the president and attorney general. He carted off $100 million and flee our country and rob 25 young professionals. This is what robbery looks like under the PPP government. Omar
It's kind of like this is something that we're hearing over and over again. It seems like some people get free reign to just do certain things and get away with it. Right? It seems like some people only got answer to one person, buddy. And it don't seem like the person is correcting them on things like that. Because over and over again, we keep hearing this person working didn't getting paid. This person working didn't getting the NIS. Imagine working to build a property, investing. It's not no easy thing. And then only to hear a man beat out with your money. Heart rendering. The Honorable VP was out and about, right? And he was having conversations with concerned persons about the developments with the contracts. Let's hear.
About contracts. In fact, quite a few people are here. Let me explain to you what we have been doing. You know, in the manifesto in 2025 in elections, we made it clear that we wanted to extend small contracts to more people across our country. There was a complaint that the list was limited, as a result of which we went to a public process for people to pre-qualify. A lot of them took their time to go online and they got pre-qualified. We had a pre-qualification notice out for 1 month. We extended it for 3 months just to get a chance so that everyone could have been pre-qualified. So if you're on that pre-qualified list, you are in good shape. It means that over the course of the year, we will be seeking to allocate a contract, at least one, for persons on that list. The reason I'm saying at least one is because we have about 12,000 people across Guyana who have now pre-qualified. We've been very successful at getting many people to become contractors, but it's becoming overwhelming now. A large number of people are doing this, and we're happy for that. Now, if you didn't get in the first instance, which happened recently in this region, you are on the list. So the people who got in the first instance are not going to get immediately after again. We will go down the list of those who did not get, who were pre-qualified. So if you come to me today and say, I didn't get in the first instance, but I'm on the pre-qualified list, then you have to wait your turn. This is for contracts below $15 million, because above that, you have to bid. These are contracts that you don't bid on, you get it allocated to you. And if we had pushed people to bid for the small contracts too, just a few people will get them. So that's why we moved to the system of allocation. Now, this doesn't preclude you from bidding for contracts above 15 million. You can now go out and bid for those, but that comes on a different basis. It's very competitive, because sometimes for a single project, you have 30, 40 people bidding for that project, and you can only give it to one. So you can keep doing that, but if you're on the list and you didn't get as yet, then you are going to be getting some work during the course of the year. And that is how we're promised. If you miss the pre-qualification, there's nothing I can do now. You have to wait until next year. We tried 3 months to get people on the list. If you missed it, you missed the cycle for this year. And we have a large number. How many pre-qualified for this region? 530 small contractors for this region pre-qualified. So that's a large number in Region 5. And as I said before, 12,000 across Guyana. So this is part of how we get more work to small people, but you have to be a bit patient too. Your turn will come. So that's what I wanted to tell all of the people who have come here to talk about contracts, because a lot of them may be trying to see me individually, and then I'll have to tell you the same thing. So I don't want to waste your time all day to tell you the same thing over and over again. We are now trying to do much more. We are preparing the projects in many other areas, continuation of roads, drainage, cleaning, a whole range of things that we can package as small contracts to give to people. So a lot of people will be, through the region and through the central ministries, will be getting these in the future. So if you don't have, if you fall into these categories, please don't come to see me again, then I have to tell you the same thing. Now, if you have a problem outside of this, I'm going to be here all day to see you, meet you individually. But don't come back if you have that, right? I love all of you, but I don't want to keep you here all day to hear the same story. Okay? All right. Let me go and talk to the other people. Some of you may be here to see me about contracts.
So we got updates straight from the VP himself about what's going on with the contracts, because a lot of persons are definitely questioning what are the details, what's the updates going on with the small contracts, large contracts as well, because there's a lot of persons definitely on that list saying what's going on. Not my time yet, you know. Let's jump into the chat and see what's going on with all the travelers right now that are live with us. I've seen a number of messages. Big up to all the moderators. Who me? What's going on? Thanks for being a part of the live. Hit the thumbs up button and share the live. Thanks for reminding them, homie. Thanks for being a part of the live and for the moderation. Man, the craziest thing, I gotta share it because I think like I already share it. Never try to clean your glasses in a rush. I'm trying, it's always, leaving a smear. Glasses, people would understand. So if I read one or two wrong thing, y'all don't know what's going on. Wumi is saying, when new developments start happening in the United States, people start moving in after the first houses are built. Do you hope so? Shalom, shalom, Carlisle. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for being a moderator right here on Delta 9 Media. I'm telling you, it's alive. We're right here on a Saturday. Very busy Saturday, so much going on. Thanks for spending some time here with us. We just heard from the VP. We got the chance to see some of what the Honorable Opposition Leader was out and about dealing with. But guess what? He was also highlighting this.
It's like under the PPP government. President Jack Dio, this video is for you. I want to show you what your cabal is doing, how your cabal, how your ministers, how they're milking money off the backs of taxpayers in this country. I am presently at Mako, located on the East Bank, Berbice Region 6. Between Mara to New Forest, for the past 3 years, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa He's involved in a highway robbery where he's clearing lands off the guise of assisting farmers with agriculture. A lot of the farmers passed away, some as much as 15, 20 years ago. Presently, behind us is a piece of land where they cleared just recently 5 acres of land. They're clearing an acre for 2.8 million Guyana dollars. 5 by 2.8, that's 14 million Guyana dollars. They cleared this land. What is going on? Any farming is happening here? Where's the owner of this land?
The owner of this land is overseas. You live in Guyana.
You heard Jagdio? This is Mr. George living in here for the past 40 years plus.
Well, we're going to hear from persons answering to this same conversation right here. You know, always do it on Delta 9 Media. We just bring every aspect of what's taking place that we can locate presently so that we could analyze it right here and come to a better understanding of what's taking place on the ground. The leader of the opposition was highlighting this, and persons are having different perspectives about a similar situation. And we're going to share that very soon and very shortly. Big up to all the travelers right now that are in the chat. Thanks for being a part of the live. What's going on with the poll right now that we have on the channel? Drop it into the share so persons can see and we can move forward with some more of these headlines.
So my people, my fellow brothers and sisters, I want you to understand, Zulfikar Mustafa and his family, they're getting the contracts to clear these lands. Clear these land located between Mara and New Forest on the east bank of Berbice to assist farmers. That's the excuse, assist farmers. And absolutely no farming is happening on these lands. Or when they clear the land, let's say January, they're coming again 6 months after to clear the same land, repeated clearing. That means repeated money in their pockets. Corruption. Corruption, Jagdio. So we just show you 5 acres, no farming happening over here, the money going into the minister's pocket. Let us show you another 10 acres where they're clearing right opposite the 5 acres. And this land, this 10 acres over here, whose land?
This is Dr. Apudu.
And where is Dr. Apudu?
He passed away years ago, more than 15 years after he passed away.
Wow. So my fellow brothers and sisters, you see where all the money going. You see where the $1 trillion budget's going. You mentioned about the list with 25 persons on the list.
The 25 person name on the list, the last list they compare with recently. And on that list, again, more than 5 persons passed away. More than 5 persons passed away.
Can you name me some of the persons?
Dr. Apudu, Robbie LaRose,
Ramroop,
Biro, so the guy, Duki.
That's okay. Jagdio, some names mentioned. Look into this immediately, and you need to sack your ministers. This is high level of corruption. This is highway robbery that is going on. They're just clearing lands of disease, and just collecting money under the guise of assisting farmers. Look, we have 10 acres of land over here. No farming, absolutely nothing is happening over here. So $2.8 million per acre, multiplied by 10, that's 28 million Guyana dollars in the pockets of your ministers.
And this is the second time this land clearing now.
Second time.
Second time for the last year and this year.
No farming.
No farming yet.
Please show in the land so that people can see nothing is happening in there. And how long to clear an acre? 5 acres, sorry, they're clearing.
4 days, sometimes 4 days, 5 days maximum.
So in 5 days, $14 million in 5 days. Can you believe that, Jagdio?
And all of this is this is just a little part of it. This is just a little part of the land. We're clear. There's a bunch of places.
This is whose excavator?
This is KGM excavator.
How you know it's KGM excavator?
Because all the logo is right to the back. All the takeouts.
So they take off the stickers.
Take all the stickers from the back.
But they don't know that I have people in every crack, every nook and cranny in this country. People would tell me about corruption.
This is just one of the excavators. They bring some brand new excavator.
And how you know Zulfikar getting the contracts to clear the land?
Because his son. Let's talk to his son up here already.
You saw his son here?
I talked to him up here, right? He's up here with a pickup. I talked to him right up here.
So if I show you a picture, you can tell me if this is his son?
Yes, as long as I see the person, I can know him. I can recognize the individual.
This guy.
Yep, that's the individual. I talked to him.
So Jagdeo, President Jagdeo, I want you to understand what is going on, and also my fellow Guyanese brothers and sisters. For the past 4 years, the Minister of Agriculture came up with a scheme to cart off billions of taxpayers' money under the guise of clearing lands to assist farmers with agriculture. I just show you 10 acres of land that was cleared 2 times. So 10 acres multiplied by 2 is 20 acres multiplied by $2.8 million. That is 56 million Guyana dollars.
To clear it twice for nothing.
To clear it twice for nothing. Then I showed you another 5 acre over there. The owner is living in the United States of America. This owner passed away 15 years ago. So just imagine if they clear 1,000 acres of land. Because with that list you mentioned 25 persons, and you mentioned to me earlier.
More or less 78 persons was on that list tomorrow.
So
Platanka is the next list. Platanka, I'm not sure about there's 48 individuals exact.
Oh,
I'm speaking when I say I'm speaking specifically what I know about.
Correct.
Right?
So let me just give you a summary. So let's say if they clear 1,000 acres of land, at 2.8 is the contract, $2.8 million. That is 2.8 billion Guyana dollars going into the pockets of the minister and his family. And farmers not planting. Farmers, some of the farmers passed away 10, 15 years ago. Some of them living in the United States. So they're just clearing land Wild West and collecting the money Wild West too. The only thing remaining for these ministers to do is to walk in Bank of Guyana in Georgetown and tell the governor, Mr. Gobind Ganga, open the safe and carry all the money. That is the only thing remaining for this wicked cabal to do. Jagdeo, look into this, immediately. This is highway robbery happening here. Also, you mentioned that something else you mentioned to me with the corruption as it relates to the canals. We'll deal with that another day. Let us just deal with the lands they're claiming under the guise. Who else gets contracts to clear land in here other than the minister Zulfikar Mustafa's son? Who else?
Machu. Machu's an executive.
Machu is the family of the first lady, the first lady's brother-in-law. So you know what you're saying.
Yes.
Jagdeo, look into this because Irfan must know of this. That is his family, Machu. This Machu used to sell cell phone in a little store,
Shacks.
Yeah.
That was the name of it.
Yeah. And Barbies, Hampshire side. He used
was in New Amsterdam, was in that.
Yes.
I'm telling you, all we intact is we didn't know. He exposed so many strong allegations, but guess what? Persons came right back and answered some of them. Maybe update yourself with what's taking place because they were going on there. Millions and millions of dollars. Grass, or is a situation where there's millions in grass, or the agri-minister is being unearthed? You be the judge, Delta 9 travelers. Drop it into the comment section and call it in.
I lucky for since I born up here, I grew up here, and me main aspect of it is agriculture. And but when I start farming, I know about chop bush and plant and flower peace and plant. But now, as the government come in power back in 2020 to now, we can afford to get help from the government, buy vehicle and clear. I can afford to buy my own tiller, can plow, plant bigger crops, and so far everything going smooth up with me because I get free, I get the corn right up in the door now, I get water, I get more access to plant, I can plant citrus now, and what's more thing I know, and we thankful for the government we doing for everybody. It's a big mislead. This is a big mislead because and you get one person within is far me concerned like the person gets sense because he know progress and he's seeing where his progress. Because if he got sense and know his progress, he could know what right from wrong. As far as me concerned, if he will know progress, he would have never be somebody like that who just mislead the whole community and show the community bad and nobody getting nothing done in the community.
So it's taking place really. Because some persons are saying that people misrepresenting them, misrepresenting what's going on within the community. Right? Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Land.
Evening to you.
How's what going on?
Okay. Yeah, this last thing you just told is some man is going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to know what you got now, what it is. Show for your source what it is for you. Your outside source your phone. You're on your own source for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you.
We echo when you got turn on the background a little bit.
Oh, not in the background, everything done.
Good. All right, it's gone now.
Everything done in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you come here and say the government do this and the government thing and this and that. You're outside a point of view.
Yeah.
You're so restless only to view. You can't even look straight and talk. You're looking at that's one. Two, take up and say, this is what the government doing for us. Do it for me. You understand? You're talking in a yard outside and you're showing it outside the situation one showing us is outside the farm. You can yell on the house or wherever. These guys just pick up some people and just put them into them and tell them what to say. And finally, more arbitrary, he addressing the real president, President Jack Deal. He never get it right. I did it.
Big up yourself, Al. Thanks for calling in. But by right, remember now, Jack Dio is one of the longest serving presidents, right? And one of the youngest at that. You can't take away those records and accolades, right? A lot of persons could say X, you could say Y, but youngest and one of the longest serving. So we hear from the opposition leader on the ground, and then we hear persons were highlighting different things, right? Persons were highlighting different things. Now, drop your views into the comment section, Delta 9 Travelers, or call it in. Moderation, let's get a chance to see what's going on with the first poll so persons could understand when they are watching this one in the rewind, and persons could get some insights as to what's really going on with the voting so far. Please and thank you. So as we see in, so The question is, who bears the most blame in the 100 million Omar Malik housing scam? Allegedly. Now, the law firm seems a split 33, okay, so it's 38, 31, 31. All right. So that's the first poll that was on the live. If you're live with us, let's jump into some more headlines right now on this international digital connection. Big up to all the travelers that are in the chat right now, all the frequent travelers that are with us. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation, buddy. Right?
Ironic that a member of parliament of that side that knows about the case, first of all, the impression given that there is none, there is, and it's working. That's what we're charging people with corruption in the courts with. That's why you have a number of cases in the courts, including to do with a certain offender that is in the court right now to do with corruption. And I find it highly ironic that a member of parliament of that side that knows about the case and is sitting next to the person that's involved in the case is raising an issue here about anti-corruption. Seriously, Mr. Speaker, I mean, there's a disconnect somewhere.
Minister geared to share Guyanese brothers and sisters at home and abroad, the Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs, the Minister responsible for anti-corruption and responsible for the Integrity Commission, continues to try to peddle the truth that anti-corruption in Guyana is working and making jokes that she finds it highly ironic that whoever the person was is sitting next to someone that is allegedly charged for corruption actually speaking about anti-corruption. Minister Tashira, what we find ironic in this country is that you guys speak about corruption and about anti-corruption, but yet still, we're not hearing anything about May Thomas anymore. May Thomas that was sanctioned with Azadi Mohammed. These are some of the things that we find ironic, Minister Gail Tashira. We also find it ironic that with a menu of evidence that was placed in the public domain, both by the opposition leader and by other oppositions. Look at MP Ganesh Mahipal recently visited Region 9 to check on the Karl Singh. And when Mr. Mahipal got there, what he found is that a man that once lived in a modest home just in 2020-2019 was now able to afford a big mansion valued at hundreds of millions of Guyanese dollars, control a big ranch land space, and a bunch of small cubicle-like houses that Karl Singh controls, and he's been able to amass all of this allegedly by the opposition ever since he became the REO of that region under the People's Progressive Party civic government, Minister Tashira. But we didn't hear you guys do any audits into that. You didn't call for financial statements. You didn't call for a release of assets prior to that time and now, Minister Tashira. So we find it very ironic that you guys continue to try to peddle the trope that you guys actually have anti-corruption framework in place, but you guys aren't fighting corruption between your own government, the allegations of corruption, the evidence of corruption, and you guys aren't fighting it. Mr. Michael Rodriguez was able to get the contract to build the Bellevue pump station, which is Tupui Inc., and was given an alleged $180 million of mobilization costs when the opposition checked for verifiable work. No verifiable work, just a bunch of rotten piles there. You didn't investigate that, Minister Tashira. No corruption. That wasn't corruption in the tender board. The opposition leader, Azadi Mohammed, pointed to Ms. Susan Rodriguez, young Johnny come lately minister in the PPP, able to own a mansion right now, which she built in record time, valued at more than $100 million, and is right now building another mansion valued higher than that one with more modern amenities, and a fleet of luxury vehicles. This same young minister allegedly owns an apartment complex on prime parcels of Guyanese land that Guyanese that would have applied for as much as 30 years and they still waiting, can't get. This young Johnny come lately minister was able to build an apartment complex on that land and is allowed to own these things with no audits by your office, Minister Teixeira. The same junior minister owning a house in Florida valued $500,000 US. So where is the anti-corruption framework there, Minister Teixeira? Where is the anti-corruption? Where is the investigative team? Where are the financial audits? Minister Zulfikar Mustafa and his son owning mammoth buildings and being able to build them in record time. Minister Bishop Juan Ejil, all of his children allegedly able to build 3 mammoth homes. Collectively, their assets worth more than 600 million Guyana dollars.
Wow. Big up yourself, Paulette. Thanks for being a part of the live. Y'all here were coming out right there. Y'all here. Big up yourself to Eternity Enterprise for highlighting these details. Is unity or else? Is more the same? Unity or more of the same? Right? It's plain and simple. And if I'm wrong, drop it into the comment section and tell me what's the different approach that persons should be taking, because if the opposition don't come together, it's more of the same, buddy. More of the same. And if you're live, drop it in the comment section. If you're catching it in the rewind in the future, drop it into the comment section as well. Y'all think what a brother Eternity Enterprises highlighting right here is making sense? And what you think about the fact that without unity, it's going to be more of the same? Who me saying bad as the minister sold chocolate? I'm telling you, but hey, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. Burton, thanks for tuning in. Burton is saying, let the bluebirds sing. Let them dance to the music. The legal alien touchdown on the live. Big up yourself, live. Thanks for being a part of this international digital connection. That's some of what the brother was highlighting right there for me, boy. I'm telling you, so much. There's so much going on in the country. So many headlines for we update one another with, right? Well, guess what? As we talking about corruption, and as we talking about things that definitely just match the maths that ain't matching, you understand? For some reason, certain persons, and when we say certain persons,
It has been very.
you know, as I always got to make sure greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Line. Samuel, what's going on?
Yeah, anything. I'm really for some other place, but we've been hearing and we've seen most people doing. Right? I think that the whole country know what these people get expect. It's important because even so if you get caught, going for the thing, going for the guess, going for the demo. You know what I'm saying? What I want to hear was the plan for combat this fraud that's going on, this corruption that's going on. What's the plan? You understand what I'm saying?
So you're saying the plan might be it's time to take to the street, or it's time to do other forms of litigation.
Yeah, most of them is plan. So
Okay.
Yeah. We need to start, something needs to start be done, be doing right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We see it, we hear it, I'm just going to go, I'm telling everyone with it, right? But
Positive.
I ain't getting no plan, I hear no plan for how we get to run these things, how we start with it, how we going, you know, something. And this is what I want to start hearing, you know.
Conversations about conversations about the protocol coming from leadership. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. You know, we never be against GCOM. Elections coming up.
Yeah.
We have the local coming up, and then 30 we get we get the general. But I'm seeing from the leader, you know, people are not, you know, sometimes it's really to comment and some people who say sometimes you just want to hear us scream when you hear us just somebody more. But when I'm talking of calling from Mohammed, yeah, so Mohammed is the leader. Just a call of your calling from the opposition leader. Mohammed not the leader. We have a call for me. You understand me? Now you'll be opposition party. But if you have to say anything, man. You understand? But everybody has a position with your party differently. But then the leader is really expected from the leader who have to try to touch and bring everybody together. Like I said, maybe not political together, but there's a lot of things that can come together and help to this country. Because it's so hard, supposed to have a there's something for fight together. I should have a lot of police legality. Rejecting supposed to fight together. And you're supposed to have with GCOM. There's something for fight together. Yes, sir. The abuse of children. There's something that everybody's supposed to fight together. But it needs leadership. Alright, alright.
Real thing. Leadership is key.
Yeah,
leadership is always key.
Yeah, so let me start seeing a fight. We start seeing a fight for something. One thing that start with, I'm going momentum from there. You understand what I'm saying?
Good.
Yeah, guys, just like all everything now, the don't become now. Did I like it? They don't need to people know what kind of shop they also want to get better. You get what I'm saying?
Normalize.
As a momentum, start calling people to do something. You understand me? Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I say.
So I got a piece that I gotta get into after we hear this portion from Mr. Campbell coming from the former leader of the opposition, Honorable Mr. Norton, where he's highlighting the reason why he might not be taking that approach. Listen in, and then you can call in with your views about it.
I hear it too. I hear it.
Okay.
But, I mean, and sometimes you don't know people take on choices.
We can jump into it when we get to that point. Big up. Big up to all the frequent travelers right now in the chat. I'm telling you, when we're talking about this conversation with corruption, right? Honorable Mr. Campbell is saying there's only certain people, buddy. There's only certain people ending up on certain lists. And we're not going to forget, every time T-Mobile keeping us connected, no matter where in the world Delta 9 Media is located. Thanks for tuning in. Big up to all the frequent travelers right now. Everyone who takes time out to call in. Yeah. Honorable Mr. Campbell is saying it's only certain people, buddy, melanated people, highly melanated people. I don't like using colorable words to describe us because when you arrive into positions before the courts and you present yourself in that manner, you put yourself at a grave disadvantage. Emphasis on grave. So, as we talk about the persons that are being victimized, let's hear these details coming from Honorable Mr. Campbell.
Very, very selective about who it will investigate. There was a question put to the minister about investigations of senior public officials charged between 2020 to present. And I want to take the time very quickly to call the names of those who were charged. David Patterson, Ralston Adams, Lorraine Saul, George Norton, Marceline Washington, Kurt Smith, Frank Jackman Wilberg, Roxanne Griffith Adams, Paul Slow, Clinton Conway, Royston Adries Jr., Claude Whitaker, Michael Sutton, George Fraser, Mark Gilbert, Marlon Kellman, Winston Jordan, Carol Joseph, Calvin Brutus, Calvin Heath London, and Sharon Hicks. On the surface here, Svetlana, it seems to me that the only certain ethnicities are involved in allegations of corruption. There are others who are completely missing from the attention of the government and of law enforcement. We have selective enforcement, especially on the issue of corruption. So you ask, what would the APNU do?
One thing that definitely got to be done is unity, or else is more of the same. We are saying Delta 9 travelers, almost 200 persons live here with us right now on a Saturday afternoon. Thanks for spending some time with Delta 9 Media. What are your views? Unity or else? That's why I think unity or else, more of the same. Let's hear some more from Honorable Mr. Campbell.
One of the first things that I think an APNU government would do, and we will not be afraid, and this touches on the issue, the current topical issue of the Guyana Development Bank. We will not be afraid to have opposition reps on the National Procurement and Tender Administration. We will not be afraid to have an opposition rep in that room raising questions and interrogating the decisions before contracts are awarded. We will have better oversight of projects once tenders have been granted. And these are, and I can go on, but these are just two of the important changes that we will bring to decision-making in relation to procurement and transparency in relation to procurement. I'm not sure if I got all of your questions. If I missed any question, please let me know. You got any that I missed?
We'll take some. A lot of times you will have follow-ups and previous year matters repeating itself coming forward in, for example, 2021, you can have a previous year matter that was unresolved being restated there and so forth. So you have the opportunity to ask those questions from the accounting officer at the set time. But the most important part, my colleague here, Mr. Michael, will be able to tell you also, we have had several challenges in the last parliament for the PAC to get some accounting officers to even attend the meeting. We would send out requests for them to come. The Ministry of Health was a big example of that.
Hurdles that definitely gotta be leveraged. Because we're a growing nation, we can't get meeting and persons in coming out and participating in the way that they should, you know. And big up to all the members of the opposition, all the persons that took time out to go and stand in solidarity with the family. Again, our condolences and rising power to young Adriel.
society. What happened to Bunkin means that we failed. We failed as a society. And we must take a deep look at the levels of failure, the different levels of failure, so that this must be the end of this type of tragedy. You know, I am a father 6 times over, and I would never want to be in the shoes of the mother, father, and the family of Israel here today. I imagine
Unity or else. More like this. More rigmarole story. More conversations that in making sense. And children that we will never be able to hug again. Right? And then you hear all kind of thing. Oh, this happened, that happened. And then is this person? No, is that person? Unity or else. More the same. More of the same, buddy.
how crushed you are, but I can only imagine because you're the one feeling it. And I'm reminded in Psalm 34 that we are told that Jesus will save those crushed in spirit. I also want to say, and I'm reminded that I don't want to take over the pastoral duties, but as a Christian, I'm forced to lean on the words in the Bible. And I want to remember in slightly different circumstances. In Samuel chapter 12, King David lost his son. And he mourned and he said, I can go to my son, but he will not return to me. But it was interesting that I had thought of Matthew 19, and it was the very first reading. And so I say to you, lean on Matthew 19. We're called not to hinder the little children going to Jesus, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. And so I am minded, sometimes as a politician we'd speak too long, and I'm minded the admonition of the chairman, and very brief. And I want to again extend condolences to the family, and may the sweet soul of Adriel Bunkin After Mohammed rest in peace and rise in perpetual glory. I thank you.
And I think Mr. Campbell quote a very interesting verse with David. When David's son was sick, he was there and he was praying, and the child died. And then he made the ultimate statement. And the statement was, this child cannot come back to me anymore, but I am going to go up there to reach with him. And I think that's a very good encouragement to the both parents and all the family members. He's not going to come back, that's the reality. But we now have to live a life in such a way where we can be able to go to where he is. Apart from being a politician, Ms. Simona Brooms is also a member of the Full Gospel Fellowship of Churches in Guyana. And I want to give her the opportunity to come and to say something to us.
Blessings to all, and man of God apostles, and to all the elders in the house. I want to say today that indeed it is sad and it is heartbroken to say condolences to the family, the mother, the father. I sat there and I'm so broken to look at the great-grandmother shivering non-stop in mourning, the uncles, and to all of you, all the persons in the community. I give you my condolences. I bid you condolences on behalf of my family and my mother. But I want to say that it's hard at this time, but the Bible teaches me some really great things. And the Bible says that the enemy shall come in like a flood. But, there's a but. The Spirit of the Lord will raise up standards. Today for you, It may seem that you are going through it's your flood time, but I want to encourage you that you will not go under, because from Jesus is in the boat, there's no wave that can take you down. It's just for a moment. Weeping may endure for the night, but it is sure, it is guaranteed. You see, the Bible didn't come halfway. All right, Terrence, Dr. Campbell. Weeping may endure for the night, but again, but it's sure, it is guaranteed. I can say it to you with confidence that once you hold on to Jesus, joy is there waiting for you in the morning.
Very insightful presentations coming by the leaders, right? That were out and about, standing in solidarity, doing that work, that good work for the people. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, take a couple of seconds, thumbs up the live, and share the live so persons can stay updated with all of this important and trending information.
100% wild-crafted sea moss. Only the best, 'cause you deserve nothing less. 8 Butterfly.
8 Butterfly Black Seed, loaded with antioxidants and essential nutrients for your body's needs. Breathe better, feel better, live healthier. All the benefits of black seed oil without the taste. 8 Butterfly Black Seed Capsule.
Telling you, who are the frequent travelers that are live with us right now? We all think about these headlines that we've been highlighting so far. Drop it into the comment section. Call it in. What is the votes on the poll right now, moderation? If you can, please, and thank you. Drop it into the comment, the viewers, so persons can see and we can have an idea. Laverne, thanks for being a part of the live. Laverne is saying good night to Delta 9 followers. Okay, so we got 40, 35, 25. All right, thanks for you could take it down. And I think it's about time for the other poll, right? Laverne is saying good night to all the Delta 9 travelers. Thanks for tuning in, Laverne. Wumi is saying the courts prove majority innocent of those charges. It's just something they just want to put on you to put you in a situation where you got to deal with a lot of hurdles, that you wouldn't necessarily have to surmount. Trisha, thanks for being a part of the live. Angela, thanks for tuning in and for dropping the 9 in the comment section. Big up yourself, Angie. Jackie, thanks for tuning in. Chris is saying Muhammad is a Dumbo and you guys love him because of. Big up yourself, Chris. And thanks for dropping comments in the comment section. We all think about what Chris got for say right there. All right. You know what? We're hearing this conversation about 23 plus 10, you know. 23 plus 10. First, we hear about this 10. And from I was hearing the conversation about the 10, I said, but wait, all these things sounding like if this is a setup for these men end up walking eventually on this charge. Because how you, the persons them left and then you find it there and then you go back and you hold them and what really happening? Hmm? What really happening? And then we hearing about 23 more now, so it's 33. And if y'all understand the power that persons would hold with a collection like that, right? Could compromise the whole of Georgetown. A collection like that can hot up the place, right? Let me not forget, you know, a smaller amount than that for persons who are old enough to remember. A smaller amount was missing from the army barracks. Allegedly, they were saying that it was the escapees back in the day. I could stand corrected that were wielding some of them power there. And look at the havoc that it caused. Now we're hearing about 33. Oh, and let me not forget, the leader of Tren de la Agua, I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. I stand corrected. Right? But the leader of the gang, one of the biggest gangs, was just taken out thanks to President Trump and the fleet. So could it be that persons was shifting around the power and moving things to certain places that might have porous borders and that might have persons that support their organization? Could it be a situation where we getting infiltrated piece by piece to the point we ain't even realizing that these were taking place right in front of our face? From the attempts on the station by Cemetery Road to what happened to the playground, then the gas station. Now we're hearing about this.
Let me say this to them. Not so long ago, about 3 weeks ago, they found abandoned on the quarantine 10 AK-47 rifles, which were similarly wrapped. Right? One man is charged and put before the court. And then we understand that 2 others were charged for some offense. I'm going to deal with it just now. Now, you find 23 AK-47 rifles. The opposite side of the country, West Demerara. Right? I hope you all realize that this has serious national security implications. 10 AK-47 assault rifles are now 23. Is not nobody going to shoot white lag as Bruce Ben would say. Is not nobody going to rob some store. This is a serious national security, should be of serious national security concern. And this is not for you to then look for the usual suspects. Because when the 10 were found on the quarantine, they were insinuating, based on the identity of one of the suspects, they were making certain insinuations as well. You need to investigate this thing properly. You need to make sure that foreign assistance is requested. I know back in the day, and I'm not telling out the school, back in the day, things like this, Interpol would have been, should be of serious national security concern. And this is not for you to then look for the usual suspects. Because when the 10 were found on the quarantine, they were insinuating, based on the identity of one of the suspects, they were making certain insinuations as well. You need to investigate this thing properly. You need to make sure that foreign assistance is requested. I know back in the day, and I'm not telling still out to school, back in the day, things like this, Interpol would have been involved to assist us to determine where these weapons were manufactured and maybe try to trace how they got into Guyana. Serious assistance would have been requested from these people. This is a serious matter. And I hope by now they recognize that.
Yeah, because it's 33, and what else, Humi? If we're thinking about it, Humi, because watch. 10 plus that 23 is 33. But what else is going on? Because they gotta be the most unlucky gang of people in the world for everything get catch just like that. They gotta got more thing. They gotta got more things stashed some way or something going on. Right? So this 33 is 33 plus what? 33 plus one more. The hotline numbers on the screen, or drop it into the comment section, Delta 9 travelers. 10 plus 23 plus one more. Because over time, we see things keep happening. And if we're paying attention, we could see that somehow these things are coming together. Right? They come together. Because look at your left or your right, depending on how this screen appears for you. You know, they still get all of these persons, 1, 2, 3, 4 persons of Venezuelan nationality that are still in custody for what happened with this young child. Right? We're going on with the case because people switching up this story. We're hearing different conversation now coming from different persons. One time you're hearing persons are willing to claim that they're the ones, and then they're switching up the story now. Probably after they realize that, listen, in no games, persons are not playing around. And certain penalties, like we would have heard the president would have presented, might definitely be on the table for certain people. But let me not forget, these persons are coming from a nation right now that is hostile towards everything Guyana, the leadership. Because when you hear what they are planning to take, or what they're willing to take from Guyana, it's pretty much like they're willing to end Guyana after 60 years. Right? So the 23 plus what else? Right? Let's hope everything is good with the witness, because she's going to play a very pivotal role. And what's going on with the case? What's the developments? Right? Let's hear some more coming from Mr. Slow. Want to thank Mr. Slow for all the hard work that he's been doing for all the many years in the force, and all the work that he continues to do even now. All of this hard work, helping persons to understand these headlines and everything that's going on in Guyana from a trained law enforcement officer of high integrity and rank. Big up yourself, Mr. Slow.
But what they're going to do, what they're likely to do, is to point fingers. This is a Venezuelan, the oldest time in it. Venezuelans have posed a serious national security threat to Guyana. We had the case with the bombing outside the East Rangel police outpost. We have the case with the bombing at the GPL substation on Mandela Avenue. We had the terrorist bombing at the gas station in Regent Street, which resulted in the death of that child. Now you get a Venezuelan found with 23 AK-47 rifles and 500 and something rounds in ammunition. This is serious thing. This is a serious matter. I don't know the authorities are treating it as such. They wanted the Venezuelans to come here in large numbers to vote. They wanted them to come to vote.
Mm-hmm. 23. Wrap up in plastic, buddy. 23. They can be out.
That can be all. Yes. I can have the people that yes. They know you thing, everyone tell these people everything.
I tell you.
It's the people look pregnant, and you know what? I'm not wishing for it to happen. But if this is going on, then Venezuelan military got invade Guyana. Or be the Venezuelan citizen. With some form of help from the military.
Yeah.
The citizen,
it's the military. Like you forget most of them are trained. Most of them are trained militants. Yeah.
The citizen become the military.
But oh my jeez, I can't understand why we don't have national service and persons are not a part of the armed forces. Oh my jeez. Hey. Everybody's supposed to. Yeah.
Just feel it, the citizens don't feel it. In order to take the country, you got to overtake the government, take control in government, right? Take the parliament, take over the parliament.
Yeah.
So it's their life more in danger than the citizens because them people don't know who is them, where they live, where they reside, what they do, because them people don't follow that. You understand over 200,000 of them in Guyana, multiply that by 3, about 300,000 of them, the every year see them.
Let's hope we don't get to that, bro, because that is a crazy estimation in it at itself. But it's sad that there's no protocols in place for persons to be drafted at least, because as a nation you can't have a nation that is that wealthy and it is not militant. That makes sense. You could get all them things and you're militant.
Who they gonna draft? Show me so these young guys need to go and go for fight.
Yeah, you're right.
They are fight among themselves, but some of them guys are bullets.
But
you understand?
To he who much is given. To he who much is given, right? You know the one? To he who much is given.
Right.
A whole lot of responsibilities. Yeah.
But if the people who take the Guyana, the Venezuela will take them decide for step, the American military can't go in them what to do. They are not the peace force and the military of Venezuela. Is a national Venezuela will take Guyana, some of them get Guyana, residency and all these things. So what you gonna do that?
And people and Guyanese get time for fight against one another, buddy. You see me by it's all going on, buddy.
They're looking at one what you call it, party. One of the key opposition, and the key of them need to come as one head, and each one umbrella, and start to put something in place to protect the Guyanese people.
Real thing.
And the government is not going to do it. You're listening?
Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in. Insights coming in right there from one of the frequent travelers. And don't forget, Team Delta, Team Samsung, keeping us connected no matter where in the world we're located. Every single time. That's the workhorse at Delta 9 Media. Samsung, right? Big up to all the travelers right now in the chat. Let me hear some more coming in from the top cup.
Come, they were given my identification card, they vote for PPP. They even campaigned for the PPP during the last election. And then when they're going to tell us here, a further search of the vehicle uncovered a wallet containing Guyana and United States currency. Well, I always just get suspicious when I hear it contain currency and they'll tell you the amount. I would have thought that they would have been able to tell you so much Guyana currency, so much United States currency. Bankyard. For which bank? The bankyards, they said cards, plural. Bankyards for which bank? A driver's license and a Venezuelan identification document believed to belong to the suspect. What nonsense is that they're reporting? What, this identification card and get picture? You can't look to see if it's the suspect's picture on this identification card. I tell you, I don't start to smell some things. I start to smell things. Now you're telling me wallet containing Guyana and United States currency, bankyards. Which bank? Is it for local banks? A driver's license? Which country's driver's license we talking about? Is it Guyana's license, Venezuelan license? But then they say Venezuelan identification documents. What?
Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Line.
Yes, so creativity. Yeah, which country? You need to get
Yeah.
I swear every country regulars have a picture name, date of birth, and mostly the last address you put where you did your life.
Yeah.
That's Venezuela, but yeah, Guyana police and then there is a bunch of joke. So you are putting these statements out in public for the people who have to see. And these people have good sense to know the way you're putting things over that just sound like you're dumb, so you're dumb. I do understand.
I'm telling you. Look up yourself. You see persons sussing out what's going on, you know. They really feel that people are not able to identify the folly that they're trying to present. They're trying to sell a dream, and people are wide awake, analyzing the details, right? Trisha, thanks for highlighting. My Guyanese people are taking things lightly, and this is serious, a serious matter. We just like go with the flow. When it gets worse, then we shout. It's getting to be that point right now to where persons cannot ignore it no more, Trisha. Because 23 plus 10 more, and it's less than 50 days, you know. Less than 50 days, you know. And let me think about it. I'm thinking right now because I follow the news and I've been following the news closely. And I can't remember another time when they had a bigger bus or a bigger bus collectively within this short space of time. Right? These high caliber, high power that they're finding. And I could stand corrected. Persons could drop it into the comment section because I know they got a lot of insightful persons that listen into the presentation. Y'all ever hear about a bigger bus than this within the last 15 to 20, 25? I can't remember nothing bigger than this. These amount in this short space of time. I can't remember nothing else. Even the situation with the ones that they come out from, allegedly, they come out from Guyana and all them thing. I don't think it was so much. Allegedly. Tricia is also highlighting this. These Venezuelans are not to be trusted. At the end of the day, these people are against us. So Guyanese people need to be trained to defend themselves. Right? Definitely a percent of military training is necessary. Very, very necessary. I could tell you. Very, very necessary. Especially if you're in a wealthy country. If you're in a wealthy country, by right, you got to have a strong military. You would build a big mansion and live in a place where you can have, where you need to protect yourself, and then choose to not have it and leave yourself open to all of them options that could come your way. We gotta think about it like that. Your country is just a bigger extension to the community, to the region, to your neighborhood, right? Cause I know when we growing up, you can't come wrong and do certain thing, cause you beg for the police come for you. You understand? So we gotta hold that approach. We gotta hold that nationalistic approach. Because if we don't, we could already seize what's going on, buddy.
Documents, Venezuelan identification documents believed to belong to the suspect. Conrad, let me tell you something. When I see these things, I just smell the conks a mile off. Now you're telling me that Venezuelan identification documents, what are the documents? What are the documents believed to belong to the suspect? Believed to belong to the suspect? These documents are not documents with picture that you can look to see that yes, they belongs to this particular person. Again, they're playing with fire. They're playing with fire. Thousands and thousands of Venezuelans and other nationalities too poured into the country leading up to the election. They even went so far to change the registration law, the birth and registration, whatever the law name. So whereas in the past, you had a little you had a little detailed process to acquire a Guyana's birth certificate or thing and so on. They changed the law. So if you come from Venezuela and you go to some JP or you go to somebody, you might say, yes, I didn't know your grandfather was from the village.
I'm so proud. For me, it's an honor to be in front of you. I would like to give a thanks to Guyana to open the doors for all Venezuelan immigrants, that we have now a big dictator, criminal, corruption in my country. His name is Maduro. So we are almost 100,000 Venezuelans in the beautiful, beautiful Guyana. 100,000. 100,000. I'm the pastor of Spanish church here in Hostelli. I'm working with them. So I'm so grateful, Mr. Honor President.
We will work with you guys so that we can create better conditions for people to live also. All right?
Yeah. Thank you, Guyana. Thank you, President. I God bless you.
100,000. I mean, not saying everybody is the same because that would be a hasty generalization. And we're much smarter than that. We're not saying everybody is the same, but these are the things that we are dealing with over and over again. So we gotta call a spade, buddy. Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Major Line. Doing good, man. What's going on for you, sir? Yeah, man. I good.
Yeah, that's enough state family.
Same to you and yours, King. Same to you and yours. Saturday afternoon, who you got for that big game?
I will explain.
Who you got for the big game?
Which one?
Today, the big game today. Morocco.
Brazil or
Brazil. Well, that's the big game. That is the big. Huh?
Game draw 1-1.
Okay, I ain't get to see the whole game
Yeah, 6 o'clock it started.
yet.
Yeah, so they open the game for KT and then see who will really go now.
I got people trying to jump off. But we're talking about this right now. With what's going on in the country right here.
This president of beautiful president. Thanks by the CEO was Cameron.
What's that?
The question where the answer is man giving 100,000. The show is 100,000. Every time you play this thing with the that's less than 50,000 Venezuelan. You remember the story?
Well, here I tell you. When you hear some of these things, but you really got to analyze it and see from observation what might be the estimate, because you can't really go off of something that persons tell you most times when it comes down to them kind of number. Because 100,000 is a lot, but it just might be. It just might be. Who knows?
They just 100,000 for what you know. What about the rest we don't know?
That's the thing.
Before.
That's the thing. That's why I said it.
Yeah?
That's why I said it.
This is just for register probably on the end. But what about the 100,000 become before? When you don't know registration, you don't even know the name.
What about it?
Or whatever.
All right. What about the 100,000? What about the rest that don't go to church, right? Because not everybody go to church.
So by this people are right. But it's a 10 years before we come on this phone, my brother.
Nah, man, we could wake up. We could wake up right away. We could wake up, but we just gotta take ourselves seriously.
Right. You have one in the place there is British. And British there. The foreign, the national, which them and the police, whoever that you so. What happened with the country right now? The country now is seizing, brother.
Yeah.
Boston's burning down, buildings burning down. They just steal them because serious for them going out in the end of them. Everybody just get promised something, promise and then relax. We get promises to right and we relax. Understand me? I have said this time before we get comes to each other.
Yo, we will say, yo, I feel sometimes, and that's why I keep putting in the optimistic perspective to push forward the positive into the future, you understand? Because we was talking about the same thing, and we were saying, watch, it's gonna be all the way, and a lot of persons were saying people ain't getting this cash grant until local government. They said, nah, man, nah, and watch. So said, so done, but something look like it. Yeah.
You see me, we trying to do a
That's crazy.
You think it's what I'm doing commercial seasoning up a fish with water on the fish. You know, they're not even wash fish for God. Why is that you see on the fish?
Pick up yourself. That's what call it is. Big up to all the frequent travelers. Big up to everybody that's in the live right now. Stanley, we're going on. Stanley saying Delta 9. Every part of Guyana has Venezuelans, bro. You could tell me it's not time, Stanley. It's not time for we look around and say, hey, greetings, we're on to Delta 9 Major Line. Yeah. Yo.
Yeah. You see, this is one problem that they have.
Mm.
You know, the right? These serious disputes of interest, you know, for these issues, you got to solve these issues.
Yeah.
That time, yes, that I'm not telling them how the opposition power is in there. But then we still need to hear from them like that. You understand?
Yeah.
Because they need them to ask for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
He is the leader. He's not only opposition, he's the leader of the opposition party. So we need to learn on these matters. Actually, these are national security matters. You understand? This is national security. And the thing about the thousand level of community more than 100,000 million.
Yeah, because right now on the screen, Stanley saying this. Delta, every part of Guyana has Venezuelans, bro. You agree with what Stanley saying right there?
Yeah, man, you tell you. You know, when you talk about Sunday, man. When you talk about Sunday, when I find them type of life of a song. You understand me? You want to talk on a Sunday. You come up on the road on a Sunday, on a normal Monday, and you try to go with this. And you see how much of them that put time in the line and able to transportation and marketing. But the funny thing is, that's a little bit there.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing that I want to make sure that I highlight to you. The platform is now about going against a whole set of persons and this, that, and the third. That's not what it's about. But we gotta highlight the fact that with the growth of a particular set of persons in the country, especially persons coming from Venezuela, we're seeing a lot of crime and a lot of things like this going on. And I want to ask you this question quick, Samuel, right? You heard of larger bus than this 23 one time? You ever heard about a larger bus than this what went down recently, like this 23 plus this 10 in less than 50 something days?
No. Only you have to do this pay from the army.
From the army, right? I checking back in the road, that's I saying, wait, I never hear nothing like this here before. I say, what's going on here? Right?
People understand what this is, right? This is not from one normal criminal. This is not from something well organized.
And I saying they can't be all because look like if there's some. You see what I'm saying?
No, they're not that. They're not that. How much you know already and how much more than before. You understand me? And this is what's scary about it. And they say, there's someone behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because when you see how everything look come wrap up, everything looking crystal. I like what this is to look like if they come on a container.
I understand more. I only think people know this is right. At least it's not any things. I'm not talking to the petition strip and the parties network.
Yeah. They never started to find it in the possession of the person either. They never pointed out though.
Yeah. I think it's 2 days after. You see the taxi man and the black one. So I'm not the taxi man and one day. You understand?
Yeah.
So how you don't the taxi man? The man is going through the thing. It could be maybe the drink. You never know. But then you find one after, and then you know this man is really good.
I tell you.
And then
Yeah.
also,
Because
the regular to publish pictures names.
good. So even if you're only now and it go the length, eventually you can be the case. And then by then everything done dial down, more headlines come in front of the usual schmusual, man. It's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you something, right? We get Venezuelans in every sector, in every sector in this country.
Mm.
You understand? And in every corner of this country.
But it's a
So
good
even if you have 100,000,
it's a good
even if you
thing
have
if
100,000,
it's a good thing if persons are coming into the country to help to develop and to help the country to grow. Because by right, let me analyze it in a real way, right? You got a growing country and you got a small population, you're gonna need migration and you're gonna need persons to pull up the labor force. So it's an asset in a way, but at the same time, there's certain elements in the group that is creating havoc in the country, buddy.
yeah, but it is there too. There's
Mm.
is all in the report, right?
Yeah.
But you see the thing is, the Venezuelans can be treated like the Trinidadians or like the Bajans. Because you know why?
Yeah.
Trinidad is planning to get you over.
All right.
Barbados is planning to get you over.
All
So
right.
so not that we hate the Venezuelans, but we have to be skeptical with the Venezuelans because they country want to be.
Yeah. And then
You understand what I'm saying?
one of the biggest boss in the history. I had to confirm it, and that's why I started gonna ask persons when they call in if they ever heard
Yeah,
about a bigger one.
no, and here they say so too,
Mm.
right? It's good for making the country because the country development, but
Yeah.
you have to start the resource.
Exactly.
You can't bring them and put them in everything and just be out of everything.
No, well, that's a part of the equation because when I talking about persons coming into the country, remember persons is say it all the time. They got more Guyanese out of Guyana than in Guyana. So if persons can earn more and if persons can find themselves in environments that are safe and progressive, environments that could provide them with a certain quality of life, then a lot of persons wouldn't mind being in Guyana for longer term, for longer time. But thanks for calling it. Yo,
I believe in people coming in the country, going into Ghana to development. But you don't know your enemy for overflow or overrun your country.
yeah.
Just like your house, right? You have a bunch of them and use enemy. They don't use you. They're not allowed them in like that. Right?
No, you gotta protect the base.
You got to. And that is a mistake of mine because that's how I said. Trinidad, no country coming in there, you want to part of Ghana from the other side. They're just coming up and come on to that people. And these were things during the crisis. In the 19th, migration from Venezuela during the time that the person had the border too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, want to be out to Venezuela, no peace. We have these people who are out their country.
Them are one of the biggest, best part too.
There you go. And you cannot actually control your body to know that certain time of the day or certain time you want to go down and these guys could easily come across.
Yeah. And the thing is this, they're supposed to got at least 5 or more press conference. They're supposed to got country rights sweep. People supposed to listen. This is one of the most craziest boss that we ever heard about. Because it's like, I don't think persons understand if them kind of power is in the hands of trained persons with the wrong intentions. What could really happen? And they're talking about a mile distance, 1 mile, buddy.
I will tell you something. But I tell you that is no one understand what it's gonna be. They are coming certain things on they are learning, but they don't have the power to stand up. All they say the government do. And the government are not with the people and they don't care about the people of Ghana. They just care about the people who want to be a part of the elite group, and that's it. But the majority are the ones below the poverty line, which are black, East Indian, Amerindian, and Chinese, brown ethnic group. Just like they don't care because they don't figure out, they don't bother when nobody go. They just install themselves there after an election, come like 2001. They don't have any plans for that day. You see? And these oppositions come together. They got to come together on a firm, strong one, which they got to go and have a lot of conversation with the international body and clear certain things with them. You see? And make sure they put people that will come up with something like right now, start an election for who gonna control GCOM and let the people that pick the person and they want to take the ballot. These are things. You bring them to the courts and the international body that they cannot, the sitting government cannot choose the person head of the election board. No way.
Powerful point. Thanks for calling.
You see, I did listening.
Insights coming in from a lot of the frequent travelers. Big up yourself, Samuel. Thanks for calling in. And Al, thanks for sharing your insights as well. And remember, Samsung, keeping us connected. No matter where in the world Delta 9 Media is located. Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Line.
Yeah, you gotta check the system. The system really is not the system is using. The only thing I hear is you perfectly hearing you voice properly. But when we speak, they will be going to say now they know that you have to be yarding. I know, you gotta check the system.
Yeah, it's sounding very loud. I'm gonna analyze it. All right.
Yeah, but you sound perfect.
No, you sound watch. You see the lights behind me is kicking in. As long as the lights is kicking in behind me, watch. That means that you coming through live through a big speaker right here. So this is why I'm saying if it's not coming through clear, Derby beans. So I'm gonna check it out. And if anything, I'm gonna use some different audio.
Yeah, my brother. I'm gonna become a section too. If they hear it,
All right, I'm gonna ask them right now. Big up yourself. All the travelers that are live with us right now, can you hear the callers clearly when they are speaking? If it is yes, drop a 9 in the comment section for me. And if it is a no, drop a no. If it is yes, drop a 9. If it is no, drop a no. Can you hear the callers speak clearly when they're calling in? The last persons that call in? If no, drop a no. If yes, you can hear them clearly, drop a 9, please and thank you. Just so we can have some clarity moving forward. No, they are low, right? Okay. No, who me is saying. So then, yeah, let me know, I don't know because remember, I'm live with you right here. So unless it's pointed out, I wouldn't know. And then persons are coming through and we're having full conversations and the call is low. All right. So here what we're going to do. I'm going to ask one of the persons or Dion, if you could hear me, call back and let me do a quick check and then we're going to move forward. Just to make sure that the call is coming through clearer now. And if it is not, then I'm going to change the speaker altogether because I should have a Bluetooth speaker down here with me. But give me a shout back. Good. So let me have a conversation so persons could check the audio and see if you're coming through clearly.
Yeah, my brother, because here why I can hear from research the discussion is when I speak.
Yeah.
Right there, I get to know somebody when I speak.
Yeah.
So then now I know people trying to hear me when I speak properly.
Okay.
I came back myself.
Yeah. So they're not clear.
No, because
Okay,
when you
okay.
speak, everything for you is clear, clear, clear. So when we speak,
Uh-huh.
you can hear when we speak.
All right, so here what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna use Bluetooth instead.
Come on.
You're there, you're right here on the Bluetooth. Don't go yet. Let me check the Bluetooth. You there?
Yeah, you gone quiet now. But I don't know if my tongue is either proper.
I turn it up on the Bluetooth, right?
Well, so far I hear it back myself. So probably people are probably hearing me clearer now.
So is he coming through clearer now on the Bluetooth speaker other than the other speaker? Clearer now? Say something for me. Sorry for the
Yeah, because
yeah, good.
when I speak, I hear it back myself, and I realize that something wrong because you hearing me from you probably
Yeah,
hearing me, but the
yeah,
audience is hearing
yeah.
me.
You know what happened? The headphones is compensating for the loudness in the speaker. So the speaker is probably too
Yeah,
loud, so
so
it's giving a distortion. Let me
because
see.
I try to listen Samuel just so me understand not what Samuel says.
Oh man. So persons are saying the Bluetooth is much clearer. The Bluetooth, you see how it's good.
Yeah,
You see when things is working,
but
don't change it.
they're with you all the time. Instead, I just came out and observed it since you have some
No,
input.
well, you
Why didn't
see,
you say anything?
me nobody. They probably
Samuel,
just
my
feel
brother.
like I could have upgraded right now, but I just said it that when you use the studio monitors because it's bigger, but bigger don't always mean better, right? Because it's a smaller Bluetooth speaker
Yes,
I'm using.
brother.
Thanks again.
I did it, my brother.
Thanks again.
Bless you.
Yeah, man. Big up to all the travelers that are live with us, and thank you very, very much to all the frequent travelers that help us sort out that situation. Because with them moving around, I think in the studio speakers would give us a bit more clarity and help us to have a better presentation. But the Bluetooth speaker is working better than that, so I guess I'll just use the Bluetooth instead. I thought the Bluetooth could have been better, but I'll work with the Bluetooth and then I'll try to figure out what's going on with the larger speakers if it's a size situation. But nonetheless, we were dealing with everything that was going on with the 23 plus 10 that was found in the nation, right? One of the largest busts in the history of the country. And I asking persons if they ever hear about any situation bigger than that. But this right here is another big situation. Because remember, recently persons be going on bad at the borders, doing all kind of thing. You see, now when it's really time when they're supposed to be turning up the heat, when it's really a time when the situation could go anyhow they want it and they could use all the opportunities they have now to, be militant. These are the headlines that we're hearing. Now, allegedly, these are some of the same persons. Allegedly, these are some of the same gangs that are operating within our borders. Could it be that they were shifting power and shifting things around because of the heat that was being turned up that eventually ended up with this happening? Let's hear these headlines.
Do bring you some breaking news that we're getting into the newsroom. President Trump says U.S. military strikes killed the leader of the Tren de Aragua gang with the help from Venezuela. We do want to put up this Truth Social post on your screen. I'll read it in full. The president says, at my direction, the United States Southern Command delivered a swift and lethal kinetic strike to successfully execute Nino Guerrero, the infamous leader of the Tren de Aragua, one of the most bloodthirsty terrorist organizations on planet Earth. Before I returned to office, Joe Biden opened our southern border to millions of illegal criminals and allowed this foreign army to rape, maim, and murder American citizens with total impunity. During my campaign, I pledged to expel these monsters from our country and bring justice to the families of those they slaughtered, including the precious 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, 22-year-old Laken Riley, and countless other beautiful souls. With this action, the United States military has brought retribution for them, their families, and their loved ones. Early in my administration, I delivered on my promise to designate Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization, deport thousands of evil criminals, and wage war against the cartels who have long been waging war against our citizens while weak leaders left America helpless and defensive. This action was coordinated closely with our friends in Venezuela, with whom we are working very well. As a result, Tren de Aragua terrorists no longer have safe haven in Venezuela or anywhere else. And under my leadership, we will find these vicious murderers and drug lords anytime, any place, and send them to the depths of hell where they belong. God bless America. He signs off. President Donald J. Trump. We do have a video that I believe was released on the president's Truth Social account. You can see this was posted by the president on Truth Social, some video, presumably from the Southern Command, putting this on social media. Again, we've been reporting that the president said it was a swift and lethal kinetic U.S. strike that has killed Hector Rutherford Guerrero Flores, whom he called the infamous leader of the Tren de Aragua gang. You can see that video there playing out on your screen. Here on Live Now, we do have limited details at this point other than the Truth Social post that the president just moments ago put on social media. So we will continue to gather more information and bring it to you here on Live Now from Fox.
Telling you. So those are the developments coming in about the gang, right? And this is the same gang, allegedly, that is in operation in our country, buddy. And then we're hearing about 23 plus 10 plus the gas station plus all kind of other things that's been going on. All kind of other things by Cemetery Road, the police station over there, the playground right around there, the house that just suddenly collapsed because of a gas bottle, allegedly. You know, so much things going on, right? Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Major Live.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear you good. So I call back, you know. Like I was saying, right? The Venezuelans is more than on the south, right? But let me go with you on the southern figure, right?
Yeah.
We know all the Venezuelans, we know all the members, right? But how we don't know the difference? How we don't know who is who? When the government not getting these people, we just collecting, right? So, leave there, 25% out of the 100,000, leave there 25,000 is criminals. There's still a lot of people. There's still a lot of criminals in a small country like that. We got 75,000 good ones, and you got 25,000 terrible ones.
I don't think we want none of the criminal elements.
No, but what's saying, right? So we get about that. There's too much we police in equip for them. If you notice the government they already spending money for the army or the police force. You understand? And I believe it's because so much of black people inside the police force. So them and throw up them. Them and throw up them with law and order. You understand? So give them security firms better weapons than them. You understand me? Keep them low key. You understand me? Don't get any fancy high-tech weapons and that kind of stuff. There's so much of black people with guns. You understand? And that's why the tree you find that. Tell you they have followed the money trail, you know. You understand? If it's not the Venezuelan government, it's powerful businessmen in this country that is a crime and corruption. You understand what I tell you?
Yeah.
And it is one of these two ways. And Big people know about it. I just saying, right? Big people are supposed to know about it. And I think if you run them thing in a country just so. Especially a country that you don't know, and that's what the Venezuelans. You understand? Somebody got to be helping them. It is a Venezuelan operation. But if it's not a Venezuelan operation, yes, somebody operation that is local that the Venezuelans are helping. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, we stay away with their bad. With their bad. And these people are every corner of this country. Every corner of this country. Every corner. And I saying these people in the derogatory way. These Venezuelans living all over. And we don't know who is who.
It's crazy, buddy.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for calling in. Big up to all the frequent travelers right now in the chat. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. Thanks for being a part of this international digital connection. Yo.
No, brother. If we get people right here supporting these people, a man coming from Venezuela with a bomb. Eh? You people tell me, we transport to destination. It's not Venezuelan. And the Guyanese, it's not them working together, my brother. Let them people bring ammunition in the country. Who buys it? Not Guyanese, my brother. Those Guyanese playing a part in everything them people doing, my brother. So, there's going on. And then you're hearing places getting robbed every day and this and that. But just look what happened in the gas stores, the sure thing. I met a roughly average, and I found over 300 or 400 Spanish people working at the place. What do you guys need there?
Wow.
Yeah, you sure you're clear and then they're going to lunch. Them just go going to lunch. So I'm with the rest was still down stop.
That's still working. That's yo.
Exactly. So this is going on is the Chinese national, the Spanish, because not everybody speaking Spanish is Venezuelans, you know, my brother. And they don't tell people, my brother, they don't be classifying them as one to speaking Spanish is a Venezuelan, they don't care. But it's not, because they get Spanish speaking all over, and people from all over coming. So Venezuela getting marked all the time, but all of them is not Venezuelan. But we marking them because this the only language we know is English. Any foreign language, I want to sound like Spanish. Is a Venezuelan. So
well, we got to leverage all of these opportunities that technology provide. They get them translated headphones now that persons could use, and be able to leverage the hurdle at least, we said by 50%. You mightn't be able to 100% with a translator.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah. You gotta remember, the people is not electrical savvy like the young folks, and the young folks they get time, my brother. The young folks they share dance, they study, my brother. Them can get time with nothing. The older folks go look over, but what them is savvy, them is technology savvy, like you know, like the younger folks. And yo, my brother.
One love. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man.
Telling you. Serious times in our country, right? Big up to all the frequent travelers right now that's in the chat. Let me see what persons are saying right now. Big up to Eva. Thanks for being a part of the live. Everybody shouting out, everybody. Big up to all the frequent travelers, everybody that's going to catch this live in the rewind in the future. Our brother, Mr. Kadaki Amsterdam, is highlighting these Details. Matter of fact, let's jump into this presentation coming from the leader of the opposition, the former leader of the opposition. Big up to all the travelers right now in the chat. Seems like we're getting a little bit of turbulence through the Bermuda Triangle. I'm telling you. Stanley, thanks for tuning in.
Unleash the best version of yourself with every goddess. Say goodbye to limitations and say hello to a better, stronger, healthier you.
Feet on soil, Guyana roots in my veins.
Sleepy is the only diaper brand in Guyana with such a wide range to choose from. We cater to all babies, from newborns all the way to stage 7. Our collection includes Sleepy New, Sleepy Sensitive, Sleepy Natural and Organic, Sleepy Night, and don't forget our fashion jeans. Most of all, they're available in both paste and pull-up styles. Sleepy, Guyana's #1 selling baby diaper, available at stores nationwide.
Big up to all the sponsors. Big up to everyone that support independent media, everybody that support Delta 9 Media. And if you're looking for an independent way, a simple way, an affordable way, how you can contribute to everything that's going on right here on the platform, become a channel member. That's the barcode at the top of the screen right there. Scan the barcode, become a channel member. Very affordable. Very, very affordable. Works out to a little more than a quarter a day.
Call for street protests are also people who are paid to do it to allow the PPP to achieve their objective. And, you know, I thought by now there would have been a set of street protests by when, because everybody was saying, oh, Norton isn't protesting on the streets. We are how much months into a new opposition and opposition leader, and we haven't seen one street protest. We have to be realistic. I will support street protests when I'm satisfied it will achieve its objective and that we don't put people in harm's way and then abandon them. And so street protest remains on the table, but there are a number of things which we have to do to make street protests achieve its objective.
Well, that's some of what Honorable Mr. Norton was highlighting. But I'm telling you,
Nigerians. It is going to come through mass action by the black people in this country. I've been saying since I was a boy or since I was a younger man. We, the majority of the citizens, must recognize that we will have to take the bull by its horns, and we have to lead. The leaders, the so-called leaders, the anointed leaders, whoever you see them as, will either join the band or fall back. They will either join the band or fall back. There's no part in this God-given world that protest doesn't have risks. There's no part in this God-given world that when people decide to protest, there isn't a risk of people being shot and killed, and there isn't a risk of people infiltrating the protest crowd and creating havoc. No part of the world, and any leader who tells me that that risk is too much to take to free a country is a leader that has passed the use-by date. Any leader who telling me that the people must not protest or the people should not protest or they want to organize protest because the people would be at risk of being injured, shot, protests would be infiltrated, chaos would be created, and all of that. I am saying pellucid, clear, unambiguous thing. If that is your position, you pass the use by date.
Does not make sense. We have, in 1997, when street protest was viable, the government was much weaker. The government did not control many of the institutions in the way they control them now. And so we have to factor in. We also have to factor in that the government runs a government based on fear. And public servants would say to you, yeah, we support you, but we can't come out there because. All of these variables, do not worry with people who cannot give leadership. They can just spout. There's one in London spouting a lot of garbage. When he was here, he never involved in any street protest of consequence. When people come in to protest, he was nowhere there. So I would say to you, in opposition, you have to struggle at the parliamentary level, at the non-parliamentary level. And you also have got to remember that there's a lot of money circulating and it is being used against people, and people are knowledgeable of the fact and are very cautious. So I would say to you, street protest is not off the table. But street protest is only one form of protest. There are other forms that will emerge.
This protest causing protests, we're really going there.
Who pass the use by date? Asweden got a reason for not protesting. I showed Terence Campbell got a reason for not protesting. Arbery has made his reason clear for not protesting. But I haven't heard from the AFC people recently. I haven't heard from Amanda on the issue of protest. All of them are relatively comfortable.
Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Major Line.
Yeah, my brother, you're coming through like you're landing this plane very easy, man. This plane touching down very smooth. My brother, remember, right? The government weaponizing the police force. Remember, the government weaponizing GDF.
Yeah.
So, we as citizens, if we go there to protest, we will be protested as domestic terrorism.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, so, that's the thing that it was using recently. Yep.
Yeah. So, But you see, they want to put fear in the Guyanese people.
Mm-hmm.
But the Guyanese people have to stand up and stand out. If we call for shut down the country border, that is how the people want to understand what's going on. We can't get everybody, my brother, coming and eating out with food, my brother. All the different nationals coming on and left Chinese, they're like begging for spot. You understand me, brother?
Crazy.
Yeah, man. So it's rough. And it will get more rougher. It's gonna get more rougher, my brother. Because you see gas going up, everything going up.
From
It's
gas
getting more rougher, boy.
from gas go up,
Getting
everything
more
is
rougher. $6,000 per bottle of gas, my brother. When you used to pay $3,000 per bottle of gas, $2,500, and thing, no, my brother, you got $6,000, or you can't get a bottle, my brother. And then bottle, by the time you use it 2 weeks, the gas done, my brother. No checks and balances, they're like Exxon Mobile. Pumping gas, you know how much they pumping. No ring fencing. So when they want the check, who going on, they got to start from the top. And they're going to do it and put a blind eye on the top. So the bottom must pour in. And they're listening, my brother.
One love. Thanks for calling in and for sharing those insights with us right here on Delta 9 Media Live. I'm telling you, big up to all the frequent travelers right now, everybody that's taking time to call in and to share their views, right, on these very important and trending headlines, right?
Than the ordinary citizens, the humiliating ordinary citizens that Roshan speaks about. And when they talk, in many instances, I ask myself, is it the people they are really fearful for? Or is it their comforts? Y'all decide on the one. I don't have the answer for it. But what I know is madness is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. Like Azruddin Mohammed. Azruddin Mohammed has been beating the dead horse of removing the commissioners from GCOM over and over and over. And every time he lashes it, it's the same result he gets.
Issue. And I want to warn the Guyanese people. There are many people out there who are instigating people. And when they finish instigate them, they abandon them. When you are involved in street protests, you have to be committed and be willing to go the distance to protect the people who are involved. And I asked them, how many of them are in the Adriana Young issue were prepared when the police lock up a set of young people to come and help? None of them. We had to find lawyers, money, etc. Also, observe the role money played in destroying the Adriana Young protests. We have got to analyze all elements of these things and operate based on reality. If we romanticize the past without looking at the present, we're going to destroy people rather than achieve our objectives.
Thank you. I had reason to I've never seen on a strike.
I would want to I want to respond to it. If a public servant says that, let that public servant come in the forefront with us and do it.
Hold the line, please. Hold the line, please. Mr. Norman is making a point. Hold the line, please.
Yes, I was saying, it is easy for somebody to call and say, I'm a public servant. Nonsense is a position of weakness. But ask that person if they are coming to the front.
Who are the persons willing to come to the front, right? That's what the leader of the APNU is highlighting. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Big up to all the frequent flyers. Big up to everyone that's a part of the live right now. Everyone that's going to catch the live in the rewind in the future. One love every single time. The flight has landed right here on Delta 9 Media. I want to say a special thank you to all the moderation, everybody who call in, everybody who drop insightful comments into the comment section, all the persons who are live with us for the first time. Make sure you hit that subscription button. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe, but it will keep you connected with everything trending in Guyana and in the diaspora. So subscribe and become a part of the team right here on Delta 9 Media, and become a channel member if you would like to as well. That's the barcode on the top of the screen right there, right? Right over that side. And I want to say, okay, the polls are in for the last, well, the information is in for the last poll that we done on the live, right? And 59% for 59% of the persons are saying this to the question of what is Guyana's biggest threat today? 23 AKs found in Venezuela, millions in the grass agri scam, leaders past their shelf life, the Guyana system leaking money and safety, lacking money and safety, right? It's crazy. But as we can see, 57% is saying that the 23 plus 10 is one of the biggest problems that we got. Let me hear what these developments is going to be, what these updates is going to be, Let's see if leaders from persons in law enforcement are going to come forward and give us the necessary information and updates as to what is really taking place. This is not normal. And we know that is not normal. You know that is not normal. What are the new protocols that are going to be put in place for immigration and everything else at the border, X, Y, and Z? Because these are to come from somewhere. They making Guyana, right? Rasta Empress, thanks for tuning in and moderating every single time. And it's a pleasure to be at the service, you understand, of everybody on the flight. Everybody on the flight. I do enjoy doing these presentations. And when persons come through, come in, call in, makes it lively, And we didn't even notice, and then watch what? Almost 2.5, more than 2.5 hours would have already passed. And I still got topics that I didn't get to touch on that we're going to get into in an upcoming pre-recorded video or another live. Because remember,
to have this winning
proposed bill, if you go to
But big up to all the travelers. One love every time. And guess what? I'll catch you in the next one.